Hey guys, as part of my review of my 2017 gear, I wanted to talk about one of my most controversial pieces of equipment that I bought this year, at least controversial for me, which was switching over to a sleeping quilt from a sleeping bag. Since I'm a cold sleeper and I'm a very active sleeper, I don't sleep very well, I toss and turn a lot, I really wasn't sure how I was going to do with a quilt. And I did a lot of going back and forth and ruminating about, do I want to spend the money and whatever. I had contemplated making my own quilt just to test it out, but wasn't really sure I could pull it off. So the three quilts that I was really looking at was the Enlightened Equipment Convert, which was their kind of like, I'm not sure about if I want to go to a quilt bag because it has a full zipper. The Z-Packs quilt because it also has a full zipper, or the Katabatic Gear, whether it was the Palisades or the Flex. Ultimately, based on all the reading I did, I ended up choosing the least sleeping bag-like bag, and I went with the Katabatic Gear Flex. I like the idea of sleeping, being able to unzip it or uncinch it and unzip it and sleep with it completely flat. It felt, of the three, it got pretty much the best rave reviews I've seen. The other ones, I'm not saying they got bad reviews, I'm just saying there was mixed reviews in there, and it's hard for me to find a bad review about Katabatic Gear. I was able to take advantage of a sale that they had, and so I picked one up. And what I ended up picking up was the Flex 30. The reason I went with the Flex 30 is because a lot of people out there said that the Flex 30 sleeps like a 20-degree sleeping bag or sleeping quilt. When you compare the specs, you compare the down and all that, you could see how people could say that. The other thing that I liked about the Katabatic Gear, just in general, is that the fact that they use horizontal baffles versus vertical baffles. There's a lot of debate about that. I don't want to get into the debate of it. Some people love one, some people love the other. What I liked about this is that I knew that I could shove all the down right on top of me and know that it was for the most part going to stay there because of the way that they overfill their baffles. And if I was warm, I could shove it to the side. I just like the ability to distribute it kind of away or on top of my body, where with the vertical baffles, you can really only distribute them up or down. You can't really move them side to side and get off you. Here's what I liked about it. The feel of the material is great. The material that they make these out of feels really good. It's super plush. It's really nice to get into at night. They use a lot of down in these. There's a lot of loft for a 30-degree quilt. And I would agree, based on loft alone, that it probably could suit a lot of people down to 20 degrees, especially if you had the right sleeping pad. Sleeping pad obviously makes a quilt. The sewing on it seems immaculate. They were quick. I had a turnaround date that was shorter than what they had said it was going to be, and ultimately they were able to beat the date that I needed. So I had a hike plan, and they were able to get it to me in time for the hike, which was great. They were really easy to work with. I think it ended up taking about 2.5 weeks for me to get my bag. I had gone back and forth between the Palisades and the Flex 30, and ultimately, again, I just went with the Flex because I liked the ability that I was afraid that I would have regretted going to just a traditional foot-boxed quilt versus having the flexibility with the zipper and stuff. After having slept in it all summer and using it as my primary bag, here are my thoughts as an active, cold, sleeping bag convert. It was the right choice to go to a quilt. After about 3 or 4 nights sleeping in it, you get used to how you have to move in it to keep the draft out. You get used to tucking it under you. You get used to most of those things. I also found that I have to wear more clothes with it just to try to keep the drafts out. It's not about the loft for that, it's just about the drafts. Trying, the little draft getting in here, a little draft getting in there, just kind of making you cold and enough just to wake you up at night. The way they tie this down to the pad is interesting. It can be kind of a pain in the ass, but it definitely is flexible. The little plastic clips, if your hands are cold, for me, again, not a big guy, I'm kind of small, they're kind of a pain in the butt to put on sometimes. There's a video online that shows you kind of how to do it. Getting it on the first notch is not a problem. Getting it on the second notch, which is like, don't move anywhere notch, I find that hard. My wife can't do it at all on hers. So You know, maybe we're doing it wrong, but I watched the video and whatever. On colder nights, I found myself just basically using the straps and not the plastic things, and just strapping them together to kind of keep as much of that around me. I got the wide extra long. Again, was afraid that I was going to, you know, not be able to wrap myself up in it. If I could do it again, I would probably get a regular instead of the wide, just so that I wouldn't have as much space around me, air around me when I was doing it. And I think I would probably not go with the Flex next time. I think I would probably have gone with the Palisades. I have yet to unzip this all the way when I was sleeping. In fact, it's the opposite. I find myself wrapping myself up in it to stay warm. I've had it down to mid 30s, and I cannot say that I was cold in it at all, with the exception of, you know, drafts and obviously my face. It has no hood, so, you know, I'm wearing a beanie when I'm sleeping, and for the most part that's okay. I also sleep in a Patagonia thermal weight hoodie, so I'll have a beanie and the hoodie zipped up. So basically that's all that's, you know, really in the elements is this, and it's not too bad. I would absolutely do it again, and I think cold sleepers can definitely get yourself a good pad. I went through 3 different pads this summer. I have a video coming out. I'll talk about that. But I went through 3 different pads this summer, trying for weight reduction as well as warmth. And I would definitely go with it again. I would probably go with the Palisades. I would probably go with the regular instead of the wide, but I would still go with the extra long so I can pull it up over my head. They have sales on occasion. They had a holiday sale that was pretty good. They had a Labor Day sale that was pretty good. So definitely, you know, if you're kind of in the market but you're not in a rush, you can hold off and get them for a relatively good discount at times. You don't really see them on eBay, so trying to find it used on eBay is tough. I've been looking for the last 11 months, and I don't think I've seen one. Maybe I've seen one on eBay in the entire time. I would say the only complaint I have about it is, you know, the way they do the cinch cord. This, when I cinch it up, this kind of dangles on me. It kind of hits me in the face. So, you know, I don't know if they could do anything different. I think the center is the right way to go if you're building them. But I wish it maybe had like a little pocket or something that I could, you know, shove the cord into once it was cinched up. Outside of that, I totally recommend it. I would absolutely buy it again. In fact, I've been making my own copycat version of it, except I have a zipper on it. This is for my wife. So I'm gonna see if I'll do a video on this. This is basically a Costco quilt that I did, kind of a make your own gear deal. I'll do a video on this to show you kind of what it looks like and what I did. But I'm making a copy of it with a full zipper to have my wife try it out to see if I can convince her. And if she likes it, then I'll probably go out and buy her one as well. See if she can get away without zipping it up though, because obviously that's not going to work. But if you have any questions about it, I can give you all the weight and specs, but it came in just like it was online. So if you look online, the weight that it is, it basically came in exactly to that weight. You know, so it was well represented online. Good people to work with. I would definitely buy it again. Hope that helped. Talk to it.